Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Recha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching the truth in righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed on, serving the Lord, the dead in Yahushai shall arise first. To you sisters who believe, keep encouraging and supporting your brothers as out here teaching the truth. And always commemorate the sister who washed Yahushua's feet when you read the scriptures. I want to read the scripture, then I'm going to discuss it on the way to work. It says, Proverbs 12 and 26, the righteous is more excellent than his neighbor, but the way of the wicked seduceth them. All right, so right now, I guess the hot topic in the news is the fella who went, allegedly, who shot up, shot an undercover cop off duty. Well, technically he's on duty, but not cop duty. He was security duty. Security detail for the NFL. And shot three, I'm assuming 3 employees or 3 people right outside the NFL building. And it turns out to be a so-called black man. Now, one thing that I have to say, and y'all could say whatever you want about me playing the race card, because that's what white people, best thing is. Oh, playing the race card. It's nobody's playing the race card, motherfucker. Race is an issue. So, when it comes down to you know, everything that black people do that white people criticize us for, black and brown people, everything that we get criticized for by Caucasian people, we learned it from you. Promiscuous women. Hello, Marilyn Monroe. You got women, and it's funny, I don't see no, well, then again, I don't have no white women on my social media. You know, I have an older Portuguese lady who was my manager at a call center. Other than that, I don't have no, and she never, even when she was younger, you know, because I've known this woman probably close to 20 years of my life. And I gotta say, man, that I've never seen in my age any white women try to, you know, emulate Marilyn Monroe. But I do have about 100, I'm of course exaggerating, hyperbole, but I do have about 100 black Marilyn Monroes or Melanin Monroe or whatever. Like, listen, Marilyn Monroe was nothing to look up to. You know, but the problem is, you know, women have it in their mind now that, oh, I shouldn't have to be humble. No, I got to show up and show out. You know, I got to come through and shut it down. You know, they've developed a manly mind state. Drive-by shootings and shooting in public. Thank the St. Valentine's Day Massacre. And a lot of other times where, you know, mobsters were shooting each other and all that shit in public. Yeah, so, you know, we just had this guy named Luigi Mangione shoot the guy from United Healthcare, which, being stupid, I thought that United Healthcare was going to blow up, so I bought stocks in it. But that was jokes on me for that one. But then now all of a sudden you have a so-called black man, Shane Tamura, being accused of shooting up a building, basically. You know, very nasty work, man. All they do is try to Now let's assume that it's a real thing, right? Let's assume that it's a real thing. It wasn't a staged shooting, because you always gotta wonder. Now, when I say staged, I'm not saying that the victims aren't real, but staged meaning that guy, went in there, shot a few people, and went out the back door. Or in other words, went and shot people, and then they create a false narrative that he killed himself, or he got wounded by the police or some shit. The fact that they're gonna proudly put the face of a black man all over the news, and honestly, I don't like going according to movies, but there is a movie that stands out, Nightcrawler, where they said, hey, we love stories where the victim's white and the perpetrator is black or Latino. They love that shit. They live for it. They live to depict black and Latino people as violent killers and murderers and senseless violence and shit. It's definitely going to be part of the gun grab agenda. They're going to try to take people's guns away from them. They're going to try to take people's guns away from them. They're going to definitely push the agenda of racism. And black people are not qualified to have firearms. They're going to push that. You best believe they're going to push that. Black and brown people are violent people. And it's funny, when they go after black people, they always seem to go after Latino people at the same time. And we don't seem to know it, though. The typical Latino thinks that it's sweet. Oh, it's a black person. It don't affect us. Yes, the fuck you do, stupid. They look at you as a Spanish-speaking black man, no matter how light you are. You don't think they look at me and be like, oh, he's a spick. He's one of them. It seems like black racism, Latinos think that it doesn't affect them. It is black racism. Because it's one of two narratives. Either you're a Latino person who was influenced by black people, or you're a Latino gang member from third world countries. Or you're a fucking son of Spaniards, and you're actually a good guy, but you're an Edomite. So there is no, but going back to the point of the video, every bad habit that black people have, we learn from others. That's why God isn't with the race mixing. You can have a wife, but she can't influence you. You can influence her. If you have a Moabite woman, or don't let her turn you away from your ways. You think pegging is a fucking a black custom? You think all these bad things, freaky things that black and brown people do, you think it's our customs? Like we do it for fun? Like we came up with it? No, we didn't come up with the freak shit. Comes from other nations, man. I'm gonna tell you, integration was one of the worst things that could have happened to black people, because it made us think that, hey, you know what? We can do all that goofy shit that white people do, except get money. They learn how to get money. They learn how to get things done and take care of things. For us, forget about it. You got this kid named Julian Brown that knew how to basically take garbage and turn it into fuel. And he's been disappeared for about 3 weeks. No, more than 3 weeks. I think today is July 29th, so it's been, shit, it's going on 4 weeks. I think he was, what, 19 years old? Very young. However old he was definitely a very young, inventive, so now you understand why black people can't pull themselves up by the bootstraps. Because you're fucking killing every single black person that learns how to live independent of your fucking system. There's black people with alternative health solutions, but y'all choose to go after them and say, nah, they got to be very picky in the words that they use. I remember I saw a video of COVID, and a guy was like, look, if you put your face in front of boiling water, you can somehow disturb or kill the virus. Whether or not that was true, he had to be very careful about his wording. He said it didn't. That don't mean it cures anything. I can't use the word cure. You gotta wonder, why do people get such opposition from doing good things? People get such opposition from creating fuel out of plastic. You can take old fucking water bottles and turn them into fuel. But no, the very reason why America went to war in Iraq and Afghanistan, or one of the big reasons why 9/11 happened, too many people died to bring in oil. And now you're rendering all those wars and all those deaths worthless. We did all that for nothing because we could have did this. And you're a 19-year-old black man that discovered this? No, that's a fucking slap in the face to Esau. That's a big slap in the face to Esau. How dare you? How dare you figure out something when we went to war and bled for this? Saving Private Ryan. Was it Saving Private? No, Courage Under Fire. I don't remember Saving Private Ryan, but definitely Courage Under Fire. That movie, you know what I'm saying? We went through that. America, not we. America went through that. And now you're discovering shit to render that useless. How dare you? And it's funny because being inventors, being innovative, we also got that from white people. Psych. But in this society, building things to help this society, you would think that it would be a good thing. Hey, this young so-called black man became a scientist. Now, how many black men are scientists in general? We're capable of it. But let's be real, we're not encouraged to do so. Our upbringing, shit, we trying to survive. Fuck thrive. We don't want to survive. We don't want to thrive. We want to survive. From the minute you were a little kid, because I grew up in the hood. I could have got killed any given moment. People are assholes on this fucking parkway, man. That's why you're not getting no further. But anyway. But yeah. it's like black and brown people. We try to be like our oppressors in a positive way and in a negative way. You know, all the promiscuity. What do you think we get? Our young women get it from? Girls gone wild. All these goofy ass thought dots and painting their hair pink and green and all that bullshit. Where do you think we get it from? We didn't invent that shit. All the effeminized men, we didn't know nothing about LGBT until we saw the oppressor. That's why we're not supposed to envy his ways. It's funny how we can do all the weird shit that they do, but we can't get money like them. We can't get it together. We can't have a fucking community. We can do everything that white people taught us to do. And I'm telling you, including transgenderism, homosexuality, all of that. We didn't learn culturally, we did not learn that from ourselves. We learned it from them. But all that shit is encouraged. But what about drive-by shootings and promiscuous women? We learned that from them too. You know, they rub their wealth in our face, and we look at them like an example of, hey, you know what? If we could be more like them, I don't know what the logic is. But it seems to me like our people are like, hey, if we be more like white people, sexual promiscuity that doesn't come from us. But you got the black man's game mixed with a woman that already doesn't value herself and sees white people do it and get away with it, and white people do it and ain't no problem. Drugs. You think we created drugs? Before Germans went to Colombia, cocaine was more like fucking Red Bull. And it wasn't a powdery substance. It was a damn leaf you chewed on. All it did was give you a jolt of energy. No, but some German scientists in 1850 said, hey, you know what? We could get a better high and a more addictive high. And then some other fucking scientists in the 70s or 80s said, hey, we could cook this shit with, and turn it to crack. We could rock it up. That's the society we live in. This is what we're going through as a people. This is a national thing. Like for black and brown people, this should be a wake-up call. Like, yo, we learned all of our bad ways from other races. Selling drugs, we were not the original drug sellers. We wasn't the original ones out there selling drugs. It's just that we're stupid doing it. We're the ones selling an image and flashy and shit. Before Scarface, where the fuck was the Tony Montanas at? I mean, granted, Scarface came out in like 1981, so I couldn't tell you what the streets was like. But not too far after that, that's when, I moved into a hood and I was conscious enough to understand what was going on. And saw that it was a totally disorganized drug selling operation everywhere you went. I mean, if the cops actually had some intelligence, they would have really put away some damn drug dealers. Or did they get orders not to put away certain drug dealers? Was it deliberate? Yeah. No, but anyway, I hope this was edifying. Let's not envy any of our oppressors' ways. They mean us no good. All they want to do is harm you. And you notice when white people do their dirt, Other than a situation where they get caught or they catch a certain disease or whatever, they really get away with it. White drug dealers don't get caught like we do. They gotta go for the gusto. When the last time you heard about a meth lab getting busted? Some Breaking Bad bullshit. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom.